Hey everyone! Today we're going to break down the El Camino College Student Conduct Code. And look, I know what you might be thinking. A bunch of rules, right? But it's actually way more than that. Think of it as our roadmap for making this campus a fantastic place for all of us. So let's jump right in. So, what are the ground rules for our community? Well, at its core, this whole thing is really a shared agreement. It's the promise we all make to each other, you know? A promise to create a positive, productive space where every single person has a real shot at success. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll look at our community agreement, then dive into academic integrity, talk about respect in our community, cover keeping campus safe, and finally, we'll walk through what happens next if a rule is broken. Pretty straightforward. Okay, first up, our community agreement. This is all about the why. Why does this code even exist? It's really about understanding the big picture before we get into all the specifics. And the answer is pretty simple, really. The whole point is to create a safe, fair, and productive learning environment for everyone. And here's something really important to remember. These standards don't just stop at the edge of campus. They apply at college events and even in our official online spaces like social media. All right, let's move on to a really big topic: upholding academic integrity. Seriously, this is the foundation of your entire education. Being honest in your work is what gives your degree its value. It's the bedrock for everything you're going to do here. It really boils down to this. Your work has to be your own. It's totally non-negotiable. Everything you turn in should reflect your own learning, your own ideas, and your own effort. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a fundamental part of your academic journey. And a huge piece of that is plagiarism. So what is it exactly? It's when you take someone else's words, their ideas, or their work and pass it off as your own. And let's be super clear. Yes, this absolutely includes just copying and pasting something from the internet without citing it. That's a classic example. But academic dishonesty is more than just plagiarism. It covers a whole range of things. You've got the obvious stuff, right? Like copying from another student or using one of those online essay writing services. But it also includes things you might not think about, like making up data for a lab report, having someone else take a test for you, or knowingly giving false information to the college. It's all part of the same picture. Okay, so from academic honesty, let's shift gears to how we interact with each other. This next part is all about respect in our community. It's about how we treat people and how our actions can either build up a positive atmosphere or tear it down, both in class and out. And you can really see the difference here. On one side, you've got a productive classroom, a place where teaching and learning can actually happen. But on the other side, you've got a disrupted classroom, things like willful disobedience or defiance that just get in the way of everyone's ability to learn. So what do we mean by disruptive behavior? Well, it could be things like profanity or being abusive to others. It could be threats or aggression or lewd conduct. Even things like using hateful language, recording a class lecture without the instructor's okay, or selling your class notes without permission, all of that falls under behavior that disrupts our community. This whole idea of respect flows right into our next section, keeping campus safe. And this is so important. This isn't just a job for campus security. It's truly a shared responsibility. We all have a part to play in this. First things first, drugs, alcohol, and smoking. The policy is crystal clear on this. The entire campus is a drug, alcohol, and smoke-free zone. And that includes cannabis, e-cigarettes, and vapes. So that means no possession, no use, no sale, and you can't be under the influence on campus either. Then there's theft and vandalism. This one's pretty straightforward. Respect property. Whether it belongs to the college or to another person, stealing or damaging it is a major no-go. It's all about creating an environment of trust. Now for harassment and violence. Let me be really clear. There is a zero-tolerance policy for physical violence, threats, intimidation, bullying, and any kind of unlawful discrimination. And that includes cyberbullying. Any action that is meant to harm or intimidate another person is taken incredibly seriously. Along those same lines, any form of sexual or gender-based misconduct is strictly prohibited. We're talking about sexual harassment, assault, stalking, domestic violence, any of it. If an incident is reported, it's immediately referred to the college's Title IX officer. And finally, for safety, let's talk about weapons. The policy is simple and non-negotiable. Firearms, knives, explosives, or any other dangerous objects are forbidden on campus. And this includes replicas too. They are not allowed. Okay, so we've talked about all these rules and standards, but what happens if someone actually breaks them?
This last section is all about understanding the process, so it's not some big mystery. We want you to know what happens next.
The big takeaway here is that violations of the Student Conduct Code are taken seriously. They aren't just brushed aside. There's a formal process that leads to disciplinary action. And hey, if you're curious and want to read the full detailed procedure, just look up Administrative Procedure 5520.
So, how does it work? It's basically a 3-step process. First, an incident of misconduct gets reported. Second, the college conducts a review to figure out what happened. And third, based on that review, the official disciplinary procedures begin. It's all designed to be a structured, fair process.
So, as we wrap this up, I really want to bring it back to the main point. This code isn't just some long list of don'ts. It's really about our shared commitment to each other, a commitment to building a positive, respectful academic community where every single person can thrive. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. This isn't just about the college making rules. It's about what we do. It's about our individual actions. So the real question is for you. How will you help build a respectful and safe community right here at El Camino?